Well, hello there. Brent here with Bring Your Own Tools. On today's episode, if you want to learn how we install this beautiful Venetian plaster finish that's baby smooth, well, keep on watching. Let's start it. Now, for a project like this, we need a blank canvas, which is exactly what this wall is. This is going to be a large-scale blank canvas for our project, which is actually going to be turning into a gym at a certain point. Now, I'm only responsible for applying the Venetian plaster, which let's get to. First step is actually prepping the wall, and specifically if there are any high spots, and in this case we have some drywall repair that I just have to sand down smooth in order to apply the Venetian plaster properly with a smooth stroke across the wall. At this point in time, it would be highly advisable to tape off any areas that you don't want plaster on, as well as apply some painter's plastic to the floor because it's gonna get messy. Yeah. Now this is our Valspar Venetian plaster we're going to be using on this project, and if you haven't used this product before, just know that it is a super thick product that we're actually going to be troweling on versus using a brush or a roller for the most part. It's a unique process. I'm excited. Let's get this bad boy open and actually see what it looks like. Oh. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, didn't mean to do that. But for comedic effect, I just felt like I had to leave it in. But let's get back to the product. This specific one is from Valspar, and the only area that I've actually seemingly been able to find it is at Lowe's Home Improvement. Now I will leave an alternative that's more readily available in the description box below, but just keep that in mind. So you gotta make sure this product is fully mixed thoroughly. That's why I use a drill as well as a mixing paddle, because otherwise my hand would be cranking on this for a while. When applying this product, the tools are really one of the most important parts to keep in mind. Specifically, the tools that I use that are the most important on this project is 1, a drywall mud pan. 2 would be a 12-inch mud knife. You have also a 6-inch mud knife, a painting brush if you want to get into some of those tight-knit corners, as well as a finishing trowel, which really helps allow you to spread the product evenly as well as polishing it in the end. Now, as for the application of this product, you want to keep a couple things in mind. Specifically, I'm working on the left corner first, and then I'm going to be moving my way towards my right. Now, this is because I'm right-handed, and this will come in handy very quickly once we move out of this corner and proceed to the rest of the wall. And if you're left-handed, go ahead and start in the right corner and then move your way towards the left. And if you're ambidextrous, just good for you. Did I say that right? Ambidextrous? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Better. As we apply the product to the wall, I do find that using the 12-inch or the 6-inch mud knife really helps applying it to the surface first, and then going back and using my finishing trowel to spread it evenly across the wall. When you're working on the inside corner section between the wall and the ceiling, I would highly suggest using the 6-inch because it's just easier to work in a smaller area, and just take your time with applying it evenly across that entire lip. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing it like this, you can always add a piece of painter's tape to the wall first and then apply your Venetian plaster, but I felt personally I like to see that edge and making sure that there's no bleed through or bleed over at any point. Now that we're at this point, I might as well just tell you the sad realization of the fact that this is not actual Venetian plaster. Yes, this is a product that looks like Venetian plaster. Valspar actually notes it even in their description of their product on Lowe's that says, easily creates the elegant look of Venetian plaster. Now, the great thing about that is the fact that this product is very DIY friendly compared to a normal Venetian plaster. Keep that in mind, and you do really get an amazing look and feel from this product without all of the heavy lifting of real Venetian plaster. And if you'd like me to do a video on real Venetian plaster, let me know in the comments below because I am interested to hear what you all have to say. Another tip when applying this product, especially at that top edge, is making sure you wipe off the back side of the knife prior to applying it to the wall corner. That won't guarantee that you won't get any on the ceiling, but it will make it less likely. And as I mentioned earlier, here is why we apply it from left to right if you're right-handed. Now this stuff is really cool to work with, but it's thick and it's a little messy, as you can see. Not too bad, but also make sure you're going this direction into the Venetian plaster because it's going to give you a smoother transition and you're not going to have a sharp mark as you put your trowel into that side and then going this way. You want to go this way so it just kind of smooths out this side, if that makes sense. Also, go back around and make sure you get any of the excess material off, otherwise you're going to go through quite a few gallons very quickly. And as for gallons, I would highly recommend getting more than you think you need because we used 2 full gallons on this one wall, and this one wall was only 8 feet by 20 feet long. Now, some of you at this point might be asking yourself, Brent, why don't you just apply this with a paint roller and then smooth it out with a trowel? Well, I did do that on a smaller section of the wall, and in all honesty, the application process did go faster when I did it, but I lost smoothness. So if you want a perfect buttery smooth finish, or at least an extremely smooth finish, I would highly recommend applying it this way via trowel versus a paint roller, because the paint roller just makes that surface a little bit more texturized. And come on, who doesn't love a buttery smooth finish? I mean, we all know I do, right? As we proceed to the bottom corner, just continue to use your finishing trowel because it really allows you to get into those tight-knit corners. After you're done applying the product, I would highly suggest washing your tools out as quickly as possible because this product does get pretty gummy pretty quick, and water with a washcloth is all you need for this. At the point you're able to come back to the wall and you're able to run your hand across it without feeling any moisture, it's time for finishing and polishing. And all you need for that is a finishing trowel. Woo! Now this is a beautiful Venetian wall, and it is really buttery smooth. If you've never felt it before, it feels amazing. But before we let it fully dry, you actually want to take a trowel and start burnishing it and polishing it. So I actually polished this section right here with this by just going in circular motions, or up and down. It kind of just smooths out the entire surface, and it leaves more of a unique texture and variance to the look itself. You can do this, you don't have to. It just gives it a whole new different dimension of your wall. So let's do this whole wall. By applying this technique, it really brings out some of the pigments that were hidden in this beautiful finish. And the fact that you're really making it more of a mirror finish versus a flat finish really gives the wall a complete new look and feel to this entire space. The one thing you do need to be mindful of when you do apply this type of technique to the wall is making sure you're not going over areas where it's too wet or too damp. If it is too damp, the tendency is going to be where the trowel gets stuck into the Venetian plaster and then rip it off, as you can see right here. But luckily for us, all we need to do is fill it, let it dry, and guess what? We're good to go. And keep in mind, if you do like a flat look and feel to the space, you can always just keep it as is and you don't have to burnish and polish the finished look. It still's very smooth, just not as deep and as rich of a look and feel that we personally wanted on this project. And in the end, there are a few spots that I wanted to get with a bit of ceiling paint as well as on the side of the wall, but guess what? After we have that taken care of, we are done. This is truly a fun, DIY-friendly project that anyone can take on in a day, and the fact of the matter that this wall has completely transformed into something that's stunning, and when I say baby smooth, it is remarkably smooth to the touch, and the only way that you're going to be able to truly feel the beauty of this wall is to try it out for yourself. So, get to it. But just remember, in the end, you have to say, man, that is one beautiful, sexy beast. Oh yeah.